Hey friends, did you know that with every tick of your watch, you're either compounding your profit or capping it? Which one depends on where you are spending your time? You, the CEO. Let's put those minutes to work for you. Hi, I'm Michelle Mitchell. I am the CEO and founder here at Mitchell Consulting, and I am a fractional CFO, a numbers nerd, and someone who's been working with small businesses for the last 14 years. And what I've discovered over these years is that most founders and CEOs spend about 60 hours a week trying to scale their business for profit. You're doing a lot of different things and you're trying to reach that profit goal. And today I want to tackle the number one profit bottleneck, and it's you and how you use your minutes and your hours in your business. Here's the truth. Profits don't live in your profit and loss statement. And you would think I would think that because I'm an accountant, but they actually live in your calendar. Where are you spending your time? And if we take a look at where most CEOs get a little hung up, spending time on low value activities, it could be emails, it can be tweaking a Canva document, it could be, just doing some mundane thing that actually a robot could do for you for, $10 to $20 a month. But where we see it is in shaving off of your profit margins. So let's just take, for an instance, 6 hours. You spent 6 hours this week doing low impact activities at your CEO rate of $250 to $300 an hour. That could be $78,000 over the course of a year that has been shaved off of your profit margins because you're doing low impact activities. What if we shifted half of that time into high impact strategy, and so that we can watch your profit climb with every new client that you onboard? So the question I have for you is, what do you want? Do you want control or do you want freedom? Because if you want control, that means you are in every little task in your business. Things have to come through you in order to be approved. Or if you want freedom, freedom lets your systems and your people do the heavy lifting for you so that you can design the future of your firm or agency and gain freedom for yourself as well as increased profits. A lot of times founders ask me, so I understand that, Michelle, but I don't know, it's just so much for me to do. Where do I start? Where do I start? And my go-to is always, let's do an audit of where you're spending your time. And in this video today, I have a download for you for the simplified time tracking spreadsheet where you can begin to see where you are spending your time. And I'm going to go over the 4D mix that I learned in the Clockwork program. The Clockwork book is called Clockwork by Mike Michalowicz. And what this taught me is how to analyze where my time is going so that I can make better decisions about delegating things off of my plate to someone else, so it frees me up to sit in that strategic thinking seat where the CEO should be spending most of their time. So I'm going to go over two frameworks with you today. One is the 4D mix. The other is the IPO method or framework, where we hand off outcomes to a team member. So stay tuned. In the 4D mix framework, we are talking about the first D, which is doing. It is doing the activities of the business, doing the things in the business, and you may be spending your time on low impact activities that a team member could be doing for you so that you can spend more strategic time in design. So these are the hand-on things like creating invoices, sending out contracts, taking care of your email. Maybe it's some client delivery, right? That's not high impact. That's number one. That's doing. But it has a low, your profit impact is actually low because if you can hire someone that can complete 80% of that activity the way you completed it, then that's a skill you can train someone else that you can get off of your plate. Next is deciding. Deciding is actually when everyone on your team has to come to you to get approval first. They ask you questions. They don't know what the next step is. They're stuck in asking you questions. And the thing that does, it interrupts your day. It interrupts what you're doing to help them. That's being stuck in decision mode. It blocks and slows down the activities of the business because you need to make a decision, right? And people are coming to you to make the decision. Number three is delegating. This is when you assign tasks or processes and the outcome to someone else. You completely remove it from your plate and give it to them along with the outcome, along with the accountability for the outcome. This has a high profit impact because your hands are off of it. For instance, if you are delegating to your VA, ordering some banners or something for an upcoming event or conference that you're going to be at. And if you don't completely delegate that to your VA, they're going to keep coming back asking you questions about it. So then it's still on your plate instead of being on the VA's plate, right? Next, we have designing. Designing is the fourth step. And designing is where you are actually creating strategy, creating models within the business, building relationships so you can go out and network, connect with, referral partners, or maybe even potential clients. Or it could be something like designing new intellectual property for your business. But if you're stuck in the doing of all the tasks in the business, you don't have time for this. And the impact on profit for this is very high. This is where it's golden time. Your goal when you are working on high leveraged, high impact activities in your business. And your mission should be to slice time out of the doing and the deciding and really parking firmly in the designing of your business, telling your business where you want to go in the future, how we're going to get there. That's your job as the CEO. It's your job to define that. And then everyone else just follows along based on the vision you have set for the business. So when you design, you actually begin to multiply your profit instead of merely just earning profit. The simplified time tracking spreadsheet is going to be in the description. I will put a picture of it here or here so that you can see how you're going to begin to track your time. And we only need about 5 days of tracking your time so you can see actually what you're actually spending time on. The next framework I want to talk about is the IPO framework. And this is where us as CEOs, we probably didn't learn this from anyone because no one taught it to us. No one taught it to me. But when I first heard this framework, it was so simple. but yet I hadn't put in my head how delegation actually works. So IPO means information, permission, and outcome. And when you give a team member all the information that they need about the task, the context, the background information, the scope of work, um, why this task matters, why you need to do this, any of the deadlines, and even the success metrics for this task, you can define it up front. You can define it with giving them all this information. And then you need to give them permissions. What permissions are you giving them? Because they're doing this task on your behalf. So, what permissions do you want to give them? If your VA is purchasing the conference banners for you, how much money can they spend? Like, what size do they need to be? What permissions are you giving them so that they can act on your behalf? And then the outcome. You need to decide what done means to you, and then you need to communicate it to your team member so they understand what done means. Identify what that means because they probably don't understand what your done means. So define it. So for ordering these conference banners, does done mean that they are shipped to your office before you leave for the conference? Or does done mean that they are shipped to the conference location so that when you arrive, they are there? Like, what does done mean? You need to define that. When your team member has all three of these pieces of the activity that you want them to do, they leave your plate. Like you are no longer responsible for it, your team member is. And when it's complete, they let you know when it's done to your liking. And this is where most business owners are kind of iffy about having someone else do something for them. But I promise you, you can get there. I got there. I help other founders and agency owners do the same thing. Like with my coaching on this framework, it helps them get there and they can increase their profits just by moving where their focus time is. And because your focus time is really caught up in like your daily activities, that is really so true. So if you're ready to see your real numbers grow, your real profit numbers grow, then grab the simplified time tracking spreadsheet. But if you want to go one step further, have a call with me. Ask me about our coaching program and what we do to help you as the CEO remove yourself as the bottleneck of the business so that the business can generate profits without you being in the middle of it. And you get to have freedom in your life as well as reap the benefit of your business bringing in more profits. So if that sounds like something you want in your life, then click the link in the description box and connect with me. So until next time, I will talk to you soon.